to TNJ Radio Show. Yes, this is Laraun J, AKA. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm having a technical. Okay, I'm back. AKA Steve Rogers. I can do this all day.
Oh man, William A. Thomas. I guess I'm Sam Wilson. I'm not the black one. I'm just the captain.
All right, man. We're gonna have a really good show today, man. I'm really excited about this topic. Yes.
Yeah, it has a lot been going on this week. It's been crazy in the news. You've been tuning in?
Man, I've been tuning in. But first, before we get into that, man, how was your weekend, man? What did you do?
It was a lot quieter of a weekend. I didn't travel or anything like that, but Memorial Day was awesome. Good food.
Tell me about it.
Oh man, good. It was good food for 2 days. I think where we ended up. We ended up going to the park one day. We had a motorcycle gang. There was like 2,000, not 2,000, maybe 200 motorcycles and quads, and I guess the police kept chasing them around. So it was interesting.
Okay. So you got a chance to get some eat, spend time with the family. That's good stuff, man. Me, man, what did I do? Like on the weekend, I don't even remember. I know it was Memorial Day. I think I stayed in the house and chilled, man, because I didn't get a chance to chill. I got a chance to chill with the family. So, yeah. But I definitely was on the internet heavy this weekend, man. Oh, man, was you keeping up with that Judge Joe Brown? Was you keeping up with that situation when he was with Kwame Brown?
We going to get into it, because that was a lot there. They both had a lot to say, but Judge Joe Brown, he went in
10 toes down, didn't he? Yeah, man. I follow Judge Joe Brown. I used to watch him back in the day, man. My mom watched him heavy, because they keep playing these reruns. But I gotta say, I do like where he's going. I like what he's talking about, to get people up to speed. Judge Joe Brown was on Kwame Brown's show, Life is a Bust. And I enjoyed that. I probably listened to about an hour of it, no interruptions.
Right. And Judge Joe Brown, whenever I was younger, this is when he still had dark hair. I don't know if it was dyed or not, but it was good. It was entertaining. But I felt like I learned something every day. I guess that's the best type of learning, right?
Yeah, people going to jail and getting their money back. You mean to tell me, Yeah, I mess with him heavy. Yeah, they still play his reruns. But the crazy thing is he didn't give a crap about, when I listen to Judge Brown, he's been talking about this forever, though. He just got that platform. But there was 40,000 people on Kwame's live. He is popping right now.
40,000.
40,000 live.
Wow.
Yes.
In the middle of the day, people over there having fake lunch breaks and stuff like that, over there hiding in the bathroom on their phone.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. Did you get a chance to listen to it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we should definitely, dig into it. Now, there was a couple things that Judge Joe Brown was talking about. First, I wanted to, point out that Kwame, give him props. He actually sat there and listened, because that judge, he can talk.
Respect your elders. That's all I got to say. He respected the elders. I would say this: he's a really great interviewer. Because you shouldn't intervene when you're interviewing. So it was a really good interview. And also he probably was high. He was smoking on something.
He always got that hookah pipe, and we don't know what's in there. So
yes. But for the people who's on here new, definitely hit that subscribe button. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the like button. And also definitely leave a comment. And if you want to ask us a question, we would love to, especially if you have a law background or whatever. Definitely go into the description and you can talk to us and give us your 2 cents. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Yeah, so we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Joe Biden slipping up and saying young black entrepreneurs fail to have lawyers and accountants, not much like their counterparts to white people. So if you care about that, let us know.
You know? For everyone who cares about that, be sure to hit the like button, because we're about to go in on that too. I don't think it was a slip up, but I think it was a slip out. It was already in there.
Also, we stand with Joe Biden now. The President Joe Biden recognized LGBTQ Pride Month. Do you care about that?
With everything going on in the world, I think people are probably worried about their loved ones, that they lost health, things like that. So I don't know. I haven't really heard much about it. Have you?
No, I didn't. Actually, but I would have a problem with this with that, because we have all these issues in the black community and they're not really highlighting that. First you go to the Asians and then you're celebrating these I don't have anything against gay people, but there should be some more emphasis on our issues. After all, he said we're not black if we don't vote for him. Is that not true?
I found out that's a truism right there. So for all you fake black people, shame on you for not voting for Joe Biden.
That's right. He said you can't do business, and he said a lot of things. But also, what we're going to talk about today is, should African American culture be regulated by a black leader? Should T'Challa run all the black people? We're going to talk about that. Let me sip on some water real fast. Go ahead.
That's all good, because I noticed that a lot of time, no matter what the time period is, there's always that person, so we're going to definitely get into that. We're going to hit the dumb stuff, but we're going to find out, and you guys be sure to let us know, what you think also.
And let us know, do you even care about that topic? And also we're going to talk about, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Bam.
That's it. Dwayne Wade. I do not lead in my marriage with Gabrielle Union. What you think about that?
Man, you asking the wrong person, bro. Man, I think no wonder why his son is a he, she. Yeah, so we're going to definitely dive into that. What you think about that?
Well, here's my thought. Okay, in different houses, you can have to each its own, but whenever you do to each its own, you're going to have to deal with what comes along with it. So, for example, if Gabrielle, if someone's banging on the door or sneaking in the house at night, I'm pretty sure that Gabrielle's not going to go run and beat up the crook or anything, right?
Hey man, she did. She was in what, Bad Boy 2? She got little hands. You saw that? But yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying. If some bad stuff go down, she's gonna ask her husband to do it. So I don't understand. There's a lot to go with him, man, because I followed him ever since he played for Marquette, and it was a great story because he definitely destroyed Pitt. And I remember they had this segment about him, and he was homeless. Like his mom was on drugs and different things like that, and he was living with his ex-wife. So I think there's definitely some trauma there, and definitely gonna dive into that. But yeah, so go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna add in regards to that. Now, do you know if Dwayne Wade, did he grow up with both parents, or just his mom, or just his dad?
No, just his mom. His dad was nowhere to be found. I believe he was in the streets. He was in the streets of Chicago. And a lot of times Dwayne Wade was homeless. So again, he was raised by his ex-girlfriend and her mother.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
And that explains a lot.
Absolutely. He's been he was a great basketball player, but that's why you shouldn't have these celebrities be your role model. I'm actually tired of them talking, but I digress on that.
We gotta go with Sir Charles. He said, "I'm no one's role model."
Yeah, and he was throwing people in the stands and spitting on kids too. So, yeah, and last but not least, do anybody care about the Black Lives Matter co-founder stepping down after she got the bag? Do anybody care about that? Man,
well, I know
Black Lives
that.
Matter.
Yeah, and you know, here's the interesting about that. Okay, so Black Lives Matter, of course, it started mainstream in Ferguson, Missouri, right?
Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You know, so it went big and everything like that. I'm not saying that someone who is doing the work shouldn't be able to, you know, reap the rewards. But what about the people who are affected, you know, really? And what do you need how many houses she got? She got more houses than you know, Jay Leno yet has cars?
Hey, I don't know, it's coming. I don't know. I know she moved away from the people she was walking with and moved with the up the hills in the gated community where they have security. So yes.
Yeah, Swanee said that's a real problem. Yeah, we agree with you, Swanee G. You know, but here's the other thing about that. So just like you had said, if you're heavily Black Lives Matter, shouldn't you live around black people? Wouldn't that make sense?
I mean, it would make a lot of sense. I don't understand it, but you know, she's defunding the police, but she's going around a bunch of police to protect her assets, and she got the heck out of Dodge. And you know, let us know what you think about that. Put that in the comments, man. But let's get back to the Joe about Kwame Brown. Now, can you give us the rundown about what stood out to you?
Well, one of the things that stood out to me was when in the beginning, Judge Joe Brown was actually talking about how some of the gay people feel about hetero people. He said that they kind of look at us, you know, like it's a cult, and right. you know, because a lot of gay people, what they want to do is just to, you know, live their lives, whatever they do in their private, and you know, raise their kids however. So, you know, he was talking about how Lizzo, what was the word he said? Shaking her arm flat. You know, I'll say behind. We got to keep it clean for the algorithm, of course.
Right.
So, what do you think about that? You know, if you remember, Lizzo was, I think she was twerking on TikTok, right?
Right. And I totally agree with that, man. I think he also alluded to the Breakfast Club and how they're pushing they're trying to get rid of masculinity, and that's the whole topic. And one thing I know that he's on these platforms talking about, and you know, like I said, I totally agree with what he was saying. Also, he was talking about Cardi B, called her a streetwalker.
Oh, really? Well,
she was drugging. She talked about drugging men, you know, and yeah, he didn't care. He didn't give a rat's behind on who all the people he was talking about, you know. But I definitely enjoyed it.
Well, you know, you figure Judge Joe Brown, that's your grandpa who's been through it all. You know, he don't really care what he's going to say. So at that point, you better listen, because you're going to end up leaving with you know, golden nuggets of information, as well as a lot of laughs. Just don't laugh.
Man, so what you think about Kwame Brown getting all this attention right now?
Well, whenever I think you actually broke the story to me, and initially I had a lot of pushback. You know, I was kind of thinking like, well, Kwame Brown's probably in his feelings, you know, those type of things. Why is he all of a sudden lashing out on everyone? But when I started listening to what he was saying, I saw what he was doing, and he's exposing a lot of people and speaking some real stuff about masculinity, about what do you call it, the get along gang?
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. And I like the fact that he's destroying the media. You know, I've definitely been a fan of sports, and I don't recall Stuart Scott doing this back in the 90s and the early 2000s. It was basically Skip Bayless started all of this mess. And, you know, I wouldn't, I mean, I am a victim of calling him a bust because of the media, but now you look back, he's been in the league for 12 years, you know, and he's been productive. So, you know, I do agree with Kwame and JoJo Brown. You shouldn't tear up people who's doing good stuff for the community. And we know that Stephen A. Smith and what's the other guy? Skip Bayless.
Yep.
Yeah, they made millions off of bashing black people.
Skip. You gotta say Skip.
Skip. Yeah. They made their millions off bashing black people, man. So I definitely agree with that. And I know Jalen Rose back in I think it was Cold Pizza. He put it out there, and they almost came to blows on the show. And so I definitely respect that. You know, I respect what Kwame's doing. I don't know if you heard this, but I heard that he's actually giving out shoes with the money he's getting, the donations. And that show with JoJo Brown had million hits on that show. So with that being said, with his 2 weeks of being hot, there's a lot of haters out there. Right. A lot of haters and creators, right? Now, did you hear what Tommy Sotomayor have done in that situation to Kwame?
Well, yeah, and that's definitely interesting because I remember seeing Kwame. I think he was on a show last year or 2 years ago, and it was the first time I heard from Kwame in a while. But I never really thought about it. So you would think that they were cool, but so sometimes when someone grows past you, you know, you'll probably notice that people go into the demolition business.
So a lot of people, and real quick, we just getting our vibe here. We're gonna get to the callers in a second, so just be a little patient. But Tommy, people don't like him. Yes, is that true?
I think that's an understatement.
So for the people who don't know Tommy Sotomayor, what would you say about him? What's your assessment with Tommy?
Well, I'm gonna just give the assessment of what Tommy says and then what I say. So Tommy would say that he's an advocate for men's rights, and he, you know, has an issue with how women are taking advantage of the system. And Tommy would say that one segment of women take advantage of it the most, you know, and he would say black women. He also would say that, you know, he acts like a female because of who raised him. My assessment, I would say he definitely has some self-hatred problems. He definitely has some things dealing with his mother that are, you know, undealt with. And, you know, I think there's some spiritual issues he needs to forgive. Not to discount some of the things he's saying, because he does end up, you know, giving, you know, some factual information, but I just can't ride with all of it. I can't get behind calling black women, white women, any women, you know, bees.
Yeah, he definitely goes in, and he I don't mess with him no more, man. He disrespects women, and then he's going after Kwame, you know, for not getting him on the show, and he's speaking on this dude for 4 hours. Come on, man. You know, so I definitely I'm canceling him. You know, I'm done with Tommy.
Yeah, 4 hours and all about a misunderstanding. Can you imagine if, you know, maybe, you know, we were supposed to, you know, get together for something, and I had a situation that came up, and next thing you know, you went live and you said, you know what, that William A. Thomas, he is nothing. And let me tell you, you know, the other day he was eating cornbread with salt and sugar, you know, and he dropped on the floor. You know? Yeah, that was out of line, man. I think Kwame need to put hands on him to what he did. He put out his text messages and just violate him. So, but big up to Kwame. I'm definitely gonna support him. He's doing a lot of good stuff. But let's get to the callers real quick. All right, we have Jim X. Let me bring him on. Okay, Jim, you're live on the show. What do you think about this situation with Kwame and either Judge Joe Brown or Tommy?
Well, I liked a lot of things that Judge Brown was saying, man. I kind of agree with it, but I didn't get the exact sound bite. But I tend to agree with Judge Joe Brown, although sometimes he does say some things that may or may not be actual sometimes,
Okay. Yeah, so you say you don't know what's going on with the situation?
No, I don't. Y'all have some kind of clip you could play to bring me abreast.
Oh, man, you missed that segment. All right, well, let's move further. Now, what about this on the screen right here? You remember what Dwayne Wade?
Yes.
Situation?
Now that's a trip. Him not leading his marriage. Well, who is leading the marriage?
Good question.
Don't look like anybody leading the marriage.
No, apparently they said his wife is leading the marriage.
I don't think that's going to work out well. No, that's not going to work out well. They're not going to make it that way. But in his defense, he probably ain't had no example of male leadership if he never seen nobody be a father, be a provider in his life, then he wouldn't know that role need to be filled, would he?
Well, he did see, what he would call a father. That's his girlfriend's mother.
What?
Well, his girlfriend's mother basically provided the role of father for him. So what do you think about that? Yeah, you never heard the girls that say Happy Father's Day to each other?
So he had a girlfriend and his girlfriend's mom was his father? What? No, that don't work. Now I'm confused. Now y'all.
What about he had all these coaches in his life, man. He had men in his life that don't.
Well, those are coaches how to play basketball, but not how to be a man.
All right. What you think about his son turning into a female?
That's a very, very strange thing. Very, very delicate thing. I'm of the opinion, that if you're going to decide to be a different sex than what you're born with, that's okay if you make that decision as an adult. But if you're a child, you need to ride it on out the way it is until you can make an adult decision. You understand? That's a big decision. Do you think a child should make a big decision like that?
Well, some would say that they need to discover who they are. So are you against that?
Yeah, you can discover who you are once you're an adult.
Okay. I hear you. All right, but before you go, I want you to answer this question as well.
Sure, let's do it.
Yes. Did you hear what Joe Biden said about young Black entrepreneurs that were failing because they didn't have lawyers and accountants like their white counterparts?
That's 100% true.
Oh, okay. You have a business?
Yes, I have a business.
You have a business?
Yeah.
Oh, man. So he's talking about you, huh? You don't have a lawyer and accountants?
Well, I partner with a company. They have lawyers and accountants. But you got to have lawyers and accountants.
So you're not offended that he said this about Black people. Is that what you're saying?
No. Black people have ownership, and don't get offended. Black folks, don't try to attack me, but because they will cancel Jimmy X, right? Black people only have ownership and control of 1% of the businesses in the United States. That's a fact, right? But they make up 25% of the money and 15% of the population. They're not in business. We don't, as a people, we don't be doing that. So if we are doing it and messing it up, more than likely we are. We ain't talking to nobody about it. We don't know nothing about it. That's not what we do. We behind.
Okay, well, here, let's and real quick, just to make sure everyone understands the topic. We're talking about Joe Biden saying young black entrepreneurs fail because they don't have lawyers or accountants like white people. So, real quick, for a small business, okay, I'm going to just go with the definition: 250 employees or less. There was a study done that said 60% of small business owners who said they experienced a legal event in the past 2 years, they reported not hiring an attorney to help them. Do you think that this is just a black thing?
Well, I think that black people are not as experienced in business as the other races. So they may not even know that they need lawyers and accountants. You see what I mean? When your people are only 1% of something, that means they have no experience. Let's say you guys are black. I can see you on the camera right there, right? And you two decide to go into business. When you two do that, there's 99 times 2 people that don't. You don't know anybody that could take anything. You don't know anybody that can help you with anything. You don't know because nobody you know is in business because you black. It's a known fact. Black people get a job, go to the job, work there till they die. Period. They don't open up no business. Everybody say you want to buy black. I want to buy black. Okay, I'll buy black too. Open up something so I can buy some black from you, please.
Man, hold on. Wait.
Black people can't do business?
Huh?
You're saying black people can't do business?
No, they can do business. They don't do business. They can. They don't.
Now, Jimmy,
they're like working out. I can work out. Hold on.
I gotta ask this question. Are you a white man?
I am a black man. Do it matter?
Yes.
Oh, it matter. Okay.
Yeah, man, you sound like a white guy.
Is that what I sound like?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be whatever you want me to be. Or what the answer.
All right. So where, if you don't mind me asking, where you living at?
I'm living in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, so in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken, that's the Black Mecca where a lot of people got businesses, correct?
Yeah.
So how do you coming up with this assessment if you're around a lot of black entrepreneurs?
That's
doing well.
Black entrepreneurs. I'm around a lot of black, well-paid people.
Okay. All right, man. We definitely love your perspective.
Atlanta is the capital of the United States, if you didn't know that, and the luxury car leasing capital of the United States. A lot of people fake break them. That's a statistical fact. You look that up.
Yeah, but most statistics are made up.
No, you can look that up. That one ain't made up.
You believe Google? You believe everything you Google?
Mm-hmm. Mostly. Yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate you, Jimmy. We got some other people. Can you stay and hang out for a little bit? We're gonna put you in the on hold real fast. Can you do that?
I'll
bring you back on.
All right. So let's see. I think we have in the queue. Oh man, we have a legend, Swanee G.
What's cracking?
What's going on, fellas?
Oh man, everything, man. What you think about? Did you check out Judge Joe Brown? What he said on Kwame's show?
No, I actually ended up having to work and I missed it. And but I heard from some of the skits you guys were talking about that. And I know Judge Brown from the past. Judge Joe Brown, he goes in hard. And a lot of times, we thought Kwame was going hard at, Charlamagne and all the rest, Stephen A. Smith. Judge Joe Brown, he's intelligent, he's smart, and he's street smart too. So with all what he got to say, I'm pretty sure it was raw.
Hey, but a lot of people don't like Joe, man, because he appears to. I think he voted for Trump. He appears to be a Republican. He said he's not, but a lot of people are kind of trying to cancel him. But what you think about his views about manhood and when he was talking about the Breakfast Club and how they're pushing feminine tactics and getting rid of the masculine men. What you think about that?
That's another real problem. And see, if you read between the lines of what Joe Biden said just the other day in Tulsa, he's been saying this on a campaign about transgender and feminism, and it's okay for an 8-year-old boy or girl to choose what sex they want to be. That's just crazy. Right. America has lost its moral ground, if it ever had it. But I know as Black folks, we've always had that moral ground from the very beginning, and America has lost its way, and America is going on a downward spin right now. It's bad, and that's what they're pushing.
Okay, and real quick, one of the comments that said Judge Joe is here. Let me just put it up here. He does not play any games. He is very opinionated and old school. Now, in regards to Biden, he's been pretty critical of Biden and Kamala Harris. What do you think about that?
Kamala.
Well, listen, I think from Judge Joe Brown's standpoint, he holds everybody accountable. Black, white, Republican, Democrat. And I think that's exactly what he's doing. And be quite honest, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I will always be an independent because of just all the study and the research I've done about just politics in general. It's just a mess. Both sides are completely terrible. And Judge Brown, he just pointed out that they all can be held accountable, and they should be held accountable. Biden speaks a whole lot about what he's going to do. I was, that speech, what he did the other day in Tulsa, he talked about a lot of different stuff, but talk is cheap. You can talk all day about, I need the House to do this. Now I need votes to do that. But when it comes down to Asian hate, $50 million check.
Well, on the campaign trail as well, so it seems like Joe Biden's message between, blacks don't have access to, or he said blacks don't use accountants and lawyers. We also heard that, poor people are just as smart as white people. We also heard if you're not voting for me, you're not black. So it sounds like a lot of his message comes out as, this understanding that white people are up here and everyone else is down here. Tell me, what is that your assessment?
Yep, 100%. Now I always say this: it don't matter how good a person can speak. Obama was well spoken, but what does that mean? Anybody that's well spoken, always behind the scenes, they're doing some evil, and I got to point it out that it's evil. And Biden, he can speak so soft and nice to the people, and everybody said, "Oh, Biden talked about blacks," but what is he really doing? He's not really doing anything. It's just a mess in general.
Man, did you vote? You vote for Obama?
I voted for Obama both times, honestly.
So needs to say you wasn't pleased with what he did. Is that what you're saying?
No, I wasn't. And see, it was Obama's second term what made me see the true light in politics. All the speeches we heard, since we were kids, just vote blue or vote red just because our parents or grandparents did this so long ago. And, we grew up in that. And so when I seen it for myself, once I started getting really heavily involved in politics, and then being a president of my union and then negotiating contracts about healthcare, wages, and getting into that, I started to look at things a little differently. And that's why I have an independent mindset. What Obama did, again, he's doing this. What Biden's doing now is what Obama did. When Obama got in, it was more so about gays and lesbians, more so than black folks, period. It seemed like they're not allowed to say black folks. They can't. They're afraid to say black agenda for some reason. Obama didn't do it. Biden ain't doing it now.
Well, all presidents is puppets to Congress, But I just I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying. I actually changed my views around the second term, I was with the Yes We Can movement, and then all I saw him on ESPN doing, brackets and stuff like that, and I kind of changed my views as well.
And I definitely thought it was powerful. I remember going to one of his speeches when President Obama was actually on the campaign trail, and I said, this man reminds me of like the second coming of MLK or something. This was some powerful stuff. I never even heard of him, prior, but also I wasn't really heavily into politics.
Yeah, so you like what Kwame Brown's doing? You watching the movement, what he's doing, or
I think he started something that will encourage a lot of other, black up and comers. You know what I mean? It always takes a belief in yourself first to have the courage to speak out. You know what I mean? I think what he's doing is encouraging a lot of folks who don't have a voice right now. They'll have a voice tomorrow because of what he's doing. He has the courage to step up and speak what he believes. And quite frankly, I think we all need that. And that's the problem with Dwayne Wade. Just to get into that. Nobody's really speaking to, real quick on Dwayne Wade. Nobody's really speaking to him as a man. You know what I mean? He's around around a whole bunch of other basketball players, but not Judge Joe Brown. You know what I mean?
Right. Definitely. So what you think about what what Joe Biden said about entrepreneurs, in particular black entrepreneurs? They fail to get the resources like the lawyers and accountants, and they're failing at a higher rate. What do you think about that?
I think really he made a statement. It does make sense, but because the way it is, the reason it's like that is for lack of education. I think you mentioned it before. We don't think we need attorneys, accountants, and lawyers. We think we can all do it ourselves. And one thing Oprah said years ago is what she did. Yeah, she hired attorneys, accountants, financial advisors, and what she did was study what they did, and now she does it on her own. And I think we're missing that. I think we need to get in touch with people and network and see who's out there. I'm pretty sure there's black attorneys out there, black accountants, and black financial advisors. We may not always agree with them, but I think we need to do is just listen and peep game. See what they're doing, see how they're moving, and educate ourselves. And once we educate ourselves, I think there will be no problem. But I think it's a lack of education to the point that we have thinking that we don't need an attorney or accountant or financial advisor.
I think that really it's an everybody thing. Most business owners, I meet a lot of small business owners. Most of them invest in Google Esquire. That's what I call it. Google, that's their lawyer, pretty much. And, as far as on the financial side, with the accounting, most people, they end up finding out when they find out. They either find out at tax time or they find out when someone ends up taking advantage of them, when their partner ends up running out. Example of that was, we had the Joe Budden situation. There were two black guys and a white guy, and the white guy, he thought it was one thing, and it wasn't really set up that way.
Well, actually, it was set up that way. I think Joe, he just wanted all the money, man. I think he just wanted them out of there. But there wasn't employees, so Rory and Maul deserved every dime that they got because they were partners,
Right, but we're talking about deserve versus what they'll get. So do you think that if it went to court, what's going to happen then?
I think Joe's paying them now. Joe's paying them now. Yeah. They're cool. He just wanted the bag. That's what it was.
Yeah, but I think if it went to court, it'd have most likely been ugly. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because there's people that have a lot more resources and networking than we do. I'm just keeping it 100. And that's a true story in most cases. Now, Joe Budden, he may have some money and may have some good attorneys, but is that good attorney in it for the bag from him, or does he really have a personal interest in Joe Budden? And that's how we got to divide and figure out anybody, as far as attorneys, accountants, or anybody. We have to figure out and study them to see if they're there for us or they're there for the money.
Right. And I think that, I remember Laraun J, he was talking to me about a couple of individuals who did things like that. He told me about Michael Jackson specifically, right?
Yeah. Oh man, Michael, man, he went for the bag. Yeah, Master P is another one, right?
Yeah.
Master P, yep.
Yeah, Master P was a genius. So what are you thinking about this topic, man? I'll put it up on the screen real fast there. Black Lives Matter co-founder stepping down from an organization. You support that, Swanee? Yes?
No. No, and here's the reason why. Now I'll answer the first question posed. Her stepping down. She got the bag. She's stepping down. She don't need it anymore. She ran off into Beverly Hills somewhere. Now let's back it up. Now Black Lives Matters started. Actually, Black Lives Matters was a movement that started 100 years ago. People don't know about that. They were marching in the street. The women were all white. The men led the march. It was a quiet, peaceful march 100 years ago. People didn't even know that. But the most recent in Ferguson, when it got started, it was started by actually 4 black men. They're all dead now. Okay. What a coincidence. Now the four progressive people, they're all dead. Now what they wanted to do is use the money to build communities, okay, and protect us from police brutality. And the money that they receive, they give to the victims that fell to violence from police brutality, right? Now, George Soros was part of that. And everything has been disbanded. Now you have women that are leading the Black Lives Matters thing, and nothing against any of them. It's just my question is, why isn't the money going to the people who suffer from police brutality each and every day? Okay, and that's the problem. When you see somebody like her step down, you think about, okay, what about Benjamin Crump out over there? Is he in it just for the money? Because he's always on TV. Every time we go down, he seems to be representing the family of violence of some sort or kind. But her stepping down is really real suspicious. She got her money. I think she was there for a purpose. She got her money, and she's out. That's suspicious.
I think she need to be audited ASAP. She need to be audited. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
What you think about that? Yeah, she up on Beverly Hills now. You know, and then even like with George Floyd's family, they were questioning all the because didn't this movement start with the George Zimmerman case? I'm talking about the Black Lives Matter co-founder. That's when it started on Obama's administration. Is that true?
Yeah, what happened with the killing of Trayvon Martin.
Yeah, that's what it was. And they ain't see a dime from it, from what I heard. You know, pennies. You know.
And just like some of these families, I heard I read a report that I don't know if it was George Floyd's family. I know they filed a civil suit and I believe they won. But the Black Lives Matter movement, I think they only paid the family like $500 or something like that. Now that's from an article I read. Now that I don't know how true or real that article is. I'm just sharing what I've read. And some of these other families didn't receive anything. And the Black Lives Matter, the hashtag Black Lives Matters, they were receiving millions and millions of dollars. And these families received nothing. Not a Jordan, not a book bag, not anything. That's suspicious.
We're gonna keep this energy going, man. What you think about this right here? You keep on talking. You're doing real good. President, what you think about Joe Biden recognizing the LGBTQ Pride Month? What you think about that?
Well, I'm gonna start by saying back in 1979, Jimmy Carter recognized June as Black Music Month. Just for the record. Okay?
Oh wow.
So back to Joe Biden, recognizing the Pride Month. That's what they do. They're politicians, man, and they got to go along to get along. the Kwame phrase, go along to get along. And the fact that there's a rise of, the LGBTQ plus movement, and I have nothing against anybody. It's just the fact that the movement is really, taking over a lot, and it's taken over the conversation of violence against Black, mass incarceration of our people. And it's really a distraction. I think it's done intentionally to take away from what's really happening to the Black folks in America.
Right. Yeah, that's what Judge Brown was talking about. And we have all these media outlets. There's about 6 major media outlets, and they're all playing the same frequencies, the same music, the same agenda. And it's a shame because I don't watch TV anymore because even the commercials is so sexualized and different things like that. Now, this is kind of off topic, but did y'all see that video that they're showing to first graders about masturbation?
Oh my goodness,
that is crazy,
man. I don't even know.
America's under attack. Pay attention.
So in case anyone didn't see anything about that, and pardon me if I get a little wound up, because this is something that actually boils my blood. So there's a video, and you can look it up, if you want to. I think that all parents should actually look it up. I think that all parents should be going to schools and, asking, what's in the curriculum, those type of things. PTA, if you're able to. With coronavirus, a lot of it's on Zoom. But back to the facts. This thing plays, and it starts talking about, from PP to, the JJ, and then it goes to, it's the two, I think there's like a lizard or something, the little girl, talking about they touched themselves, in private, and the teacher or the woman, I don't know, there was and a lot of times, why do they have to have the Black woman to come out and, break this type of stuff? That's another thing, but she goes and says, oh, it's okay to touch yourself in private, but, most adults don't do it in public. And I think that it's so wrong. What they're doing is they're prepping the youth for pedophilia.
Facts. That's a whole fact right there.
Absolutely.
And I don't care whoever says, that movie Cuties on Netflix, where they say it was just, to show not to sexually objectify children. That was prepping children for pedophilia coming in, and it's terrible. What do you guys think about that?
What you got, Laraun J?
I mean, I totally agree with what you're saying. But what I feel like we as men have to step up, and that's why I love the fact that Kwame Brown is putting out, this stuff on internet, and it's giving people confidence to speak out. For years, we just been sitting on the sidelines, man. So we got to step up as men, and and also we need to start boycotting these shows, man, because people are supporting it. People are watching.
Right.
We got to hit them in their pockets, man. So I'm real big on that, man.
Yeah, definitely. And what Joe Biden, talking about, what's crazy is, and Will, you hit it right on the nail. It's becoming normalized, and that's where they want it to be. Now they're prepping the minds of our young children, and our children watch these shows because it's a cartoon. They think it's something good. There's a lot of things on TV that is not good. Probably 98% of the things you see on TV is not good. That's why it's called programming. Right. And and what this whole thing is just a mess. And I don't know where my man Marloco is, but the Messiah says, Christ says, like the days of Noah, where you see the Son of Man come. Now, if you read the Bible in Genesis, all this stuff was going on right now. That's why the flood came and destroyed the whole earth. What's next is fire.
Never water again. But
that's right.
but and what's that other show? I think it was called Big Mouth, right? Either of you guys see that? It was on Cartoon Network, Adult Swim back in the day.
No, I don't think I've seen that one.
Now, here's the thing about Big Mouth. It was a cartoon, so you can easily, get kids into watching it. It was on Adult Swim, but hey, Dragon Ball came on during Adult Swim, But they had I think he had the puberty monster or something of the sort that would be talking to him. Once again, they're trying to, put these things into children's mind to, for them to be able to teach them, rather than the parents. Because, any type of parent, any good parent is going to eventually, teach their children about these different things, but not generally in first grade. You're not even in puberty,
Right. Then you have unisex bathrooms, and yes, it's a mess, man. And Obama supported it. That's why I kind of fell off of his train. He was getting all his voters from them. It was giving them all the money, to keep them in office, along with Hollywood. Hollywood is a bunch of pedophiles as well. So I'm happy that they're failing right now. But we just got to stand up as men, man. We got to stop simping. Get on our stuff. Contrary to people's belief, man, women want men to run stuff. The fact is that they have to, because we ain't stepping up. What y'all think about that?
Yeah, I think that a lot of men dropped the ball, and as Marloco had said, that Adam was the first simp. That's how Marloco was saying right now. He would look into that camera and say, Adam was the first simp.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, that's real. And honestly, men got to step it up. Now I know a lot of our men are still down, in these jails and prisons. I have a family member that's still in jail or in prison because of the Biden crime bill, right? So a lot of our men are still locked up, you know what I mean? And we're missing them. And the same goes for those in the street, man. And we just in jobs or businesses, whatever. We need our men to come back to the fold, man. And we need to start speaking some truth. These are challenging conversations, but it must happen. And if it don't happen, our children will be lost. And so men got to step up, and a woman got to step up and hold their men up. Period.
Now, Swanee, let me ask you this, because, the men step up. One of the questions was that should African-American culture be regulated by a black leader? Should there maybe, be a black leader, a black man, LeBron, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, back in the day? Should we be regulated by that?
Do we need a king?
Now that's a good question, because a lot of our leaders are gone. A lot of the good, strong leaders are gone. Do we need Reverend Al? No. Do we need a LeBron? No. What we need is a togetherness. We need all of us. There's three of us right now. If there's three of us, we need to lead together. It can't be one individual. We need to control the narrative. Well, first of all, we need to understand the narrative and see how it's presented. And we need to look at it, study it, and change and control the narrative, for our people. And we need to study and research and educate ourselves of our history and culture from the very beginning. And that's what we must do. And nobody's teaching that right now. The Reverend Al Sharpton and none of them, they're not teaching, true culture of American black culture from the very beginning. We need to go back to the very beginning where our morals were at, and we need to start from there and then go from there.
Okay. Go ahead. Well, you about to say something? I see you.
Oh yeah. I was trying to keep it in, but only thing just a little pushback. I think that through history, we've had great periods of success, great periods of morals, and also I've seen situations where you end up falling down. You know what I mean? But we ended up getting back up, and that's the great thing. Like right now, it's kind of questionable because right now it's not just falling down. We getting kicked while we down. We're being encouraged to stay down. If you try to come up, you're weird, you're crazy, you're a conspiracy, theorist or something of the sort.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys think about that?
We have to fight through that. We have to have the will and the determination to stand strong, and we need to have faith, because it can be very overwhelming and very frustrating. There's a lot of things that I talk about, even on Facebook or even Twitter, that may be controversial to a whole lot of people. But the truth be told, it must be said. Now, whether people like it or not, I can't control that. I used to post things, that was real controversial, but it was true. I looked it up. I studied it. I found that there was a source and another source to back everything up I was saying. And people look at me like I'm crazy. Like, nah, if you study and research and take the time to do it, you'll understand that this is truth.
We need an example. Give us one.
What's that?
Give us an example of one of those things that you were talking about.
Well, since we're on politics, I'll go there. The story about Joe Biden. Now we have been just voting blue since the 70s, since MLK, Malcolm X, since they all have been assassinated. We've been, because they were Republicans, but we've been voting blue for the longest. And truth be told, what have voting blue got us? We've been voting blue since the 60s. We've been voting, period, since the 60s. What has voting since the 60s got us today? We are still getting shot and killed in the street today. We still need those lawyers we talked about, those accountants. We don't have access to none of them because the system is designed to keep us down. We need to bring those topics out in the open and speak real, because it's real. We keep voting, but then sit back down. Since Biden's been elected, all the people that I've been, somewhat debating with, they're quiet now. They go vote and they go sit back down on the couch, and we still get shot and killed in the street. Jobs and justice that they've been screaming for since the 60s. We still screaming for jobs and justice in 2021. And that's a problem. So I speak on those things.
Do you think Black people need a code of ethics, or a code like the Jews and religion has a code, and gangsters have a code? Do you think Black people need a code to get things going as a unit?
Yes, but it has to start with, like I always said, it has to start with education. It has to start with the education of our people first. We need to know our history. If we don't know our history, we don't know where we're going tomorrow. So we must know and study our history first, okay, and figure out where we are today to know where we're going tomorrow.
Now the question is, do people want change right now? Because I see these young kids walking around in Crocs and skinny jeans and smoking the hookahs or whatever you call that. Like, do people want change right now? That's the question.
No, I think people, I think the generations before us, those who grew up in the 60s, they're comfortable. Okay. So they don't want change. They're stubborn in their ways. There ain't nothing you can do to change their minds. They're stuck in their ways. The young folks that's under us, the generations, after us, they are stuck in their ways. You can't even tell them nothing. They're stubborn. You can't even teach them, that, listen, MLK, he was in Atlanta, Georgia. No, he wasn't. He was in Montgomery, or he was in Memphis. Yeah, he was in all those places, but he was also here too. It's it's tough to try to, break, I guess the egg really, of some of these folks, man. Those older and some of those folks that's younger than us, man, and that's been one of the difficult things to break, because they're stuck in their ways.
That's a whole fact. That's a whole fact right there. Yes. We hear a little bit in the background, but give me 1 second. Oh man, yeah, we loving this conversation, man. Just bear with us, man. You are really killing it today, man. Give me 1 second here. Now, are you familiar with Osaka, the tennis player? Yeah, you familiar with that? What you think about that?
I think what she's doing is huge. Again, what we go back to what Kwame is doing. She's standing up on what she believes, and so I stand with Naomi for what she's doing. She's always been an advocate for some of the things that's been going on in the Black community, And so I truly stand with her because she understands the mental illness, that needs to be is serious. Mental illness is serious, and we need to take a real close look at that because right now it's been neglected and pushed to the side. So yeah, what she's doing is awesome.
Now, wasn't it that she did not want to talk to the media or something?
Yeah, she got fined like $15,000.
So do you think athletes should be mandated to talk to the media? What do you think about that?
It goes back to their contract. What our man now? What's his name? The running back for NFL. What's his name?
Beast Mode.
What's his name?
Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch, my man. You see what he did? Because it's part of their contract and because of their sponsors, they are mandated to sit in front of that camera. Now, what he did, he went up there and just sat there. That's what he was paid to do. So he went up there and sat there. And he said, but one word. What's next? Anything else? Anything else? No. So I think it's part of that sponsorship. And really, again, these big companies like Nike and Adidas and the NFL and Home Depot, Lowe's, all of them. These are sponsors. And those sponsors want their name to be on live television so they can see their logo, so people can see it. And that's what it's all about. So I'm surprised that Nike is really backing Naomi. That's really big what Nike is doing right now. Not that I agree with what Nike doing all the time, but they stood behind Naomi, and that's big.
So do you see a difference in how Naomi and I understand as far as the mental illness thing, but I also understand the contract then. Both sides, if you're working a regular job, there might be sick days or different things like that. But what do you think about the difference between how Naomi is getting praised, but Kyrie was getting shunned for the same type of thing?
That's a good question. And what Kyrie is, it's, I don't know if it's different circumstances that he was going through at the time. But it all goes back to, these contracts that they sign. They see these contracts that they sign and they have to understand them. And Naomi's situation, who knows what she was going through. And, then her being fined, the 15,000 or 20,000, whatever it was. And she says she's withdrawing herself, from the French Open. Now, did any other players withdraw themselves from the finals? I don't know if anybody did that yet. You know what I mean? So it's hard to compare really with anybody else.
Okay.
Well, I think that if you sign that contract, you got to abide by that contract. She didn't say this when she was trying to come up. She needs to do the interviews because the thing is, it's all about promotion. If it wasn't for the media, we wouldn't care about sports. I mean, have you ever go to a game? It's boring. So you need the protagonist and the antagonist. And that's definitely in their contract, for Kyrie Irving, and they're doing all this load management. Well, don't play. I just feel like a lot of these players is weak. Compared to the other players in the past, you're not pushing along you're not making the game better. I went to, when I was in Michigan, I went to a lot of games, and when you go and you taking your child, you want to see that player. That's what you're paying for. And they're not showing up for load management.
Right.
I remember I went to Miami and D Wade didn't play. I was upset, highly upset, and that's one thing that I loved about Kobe and Jordan. They knew that they can inspire somebody, even at the fact that they were hurt. Because it's a gift. It's it's a privilege to play sports, on a high level. So I just feel like she's weak for that. And that's just my opinion. What you think about that, Will?
Well, here's my thing about that. Naomi, she initially put the tweet out more so speaking about when athletes have lost and breaking down, in the process. So I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not in her head, but she ended up winning. So whenever that ended up happening, it was kind of like, all right, to me, it looked like I have to follow through with what I said. and now it's treated as a bigger mental health issue. If it is, then I understand you need to take your time away. The money's not worth it. You know what I mean? You want to be able to preserve your mind and your spirit, of course, but we don't want to have a situation where everyone is saying, I don't want to do interviews or pressers because it's, a mental health thing or whatever. Everyone can say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, man. You gotta push it along, man. Like I said, if no one's showing up, and then they're gonna cut your check. So but I guess tennis is a little different.
Hold on 1 second, Laraun. I just want to, I see Jimmy exit. He's still holding. I just wanted to hear what he had to say about this. Hold on.
Hello,
Jimmy, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
What's your thoughts about these athletes and?
Hey, man, that's weak on Naomi's part. You understand what I'm saying? It's another word I like to use, but the algorithm won't let me. It starts with a P, ends with a Y. Us in the middle. That is weak, baby. That is weak. Look, if you can't take the heat, then get out of the kitchen, and that's what she did. She got her money, and now she want to just go lay up with her boyfriend, get pregnant, and do whatever. She has made a and so like she ain't about nothing. Okay.
Hold on. Hey, Jimmy, I got a question for you then.
Yeah.
Because Dave Chappelle, he got a whole lot of money, and he walked away from the game.
That's right.
So is he weak or is he strong?
Well, he came on back. You know what I'm saying?
She's only 23 years old. She'll be back.
Said, you know what? I want to tell some more jokes. I'm coming back.
Naomi will be back.
Yeah, she's gonna be back when that money run out. After she get pregnant by that dude she loves so much, and when that money run out, she gonna be like, "Dang, I guess I gotta swing that racket again." Oh, I don't want to talk to the press, girl. You done beat Serena Williams. If you don't pick up that racket and keep see what I'm saying? It's just like what y'all said earlier, man. This generation is turning into toilet paper, man.
Yeah, you're right, man. They are running things.
It's getting weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. How much further people gonna dial back on their moral fortitude? How much further people gonna lay on excuses and then that ain't fair to me? All this crap. Now come on now.
I agree with that. That's real.
Yeah. Speaking of weak, you guys see Stephen A. Went from the suit to the HBCU jacket because he got clowned by Kwame Brown so bad.
He ain't scared. He said, "I ain't scared."
Oh man, I was cracking up. I was like, Amazon does a heck of a job. 1 day delivery. Same day if you need it.
Stephen A is always going to be Stephen A, man. And that little small comeback he did, it just shows us that we can have disagreements and still have a conversation at the same time. You know what I mean? And so I just think his little small little comeback saying he ain't scared. I think one day, man, Kwame is going to be in a room with Stephen A and Charlamagne. And they all gonna give each other big hugs, man. We gonna get over this.
Well, I don't know about Becky with the good hair. I think they're gonna fight. Matt Barnes, yeah, he gonna catch one of them. He gonna jump on them like a trampoline. Ain't that what he said?
Yeah.
What you think about? I mean, now you, Swanee, did you keep up with Tommy Sotomayor coming after? Kwame?
I did not. I missed that.
Okay. Well, you want to get up to speed with it?
Well, Tommy actually had him on the show a year or two ago. So Tommy, I guess he felt slighted because he had Judge Joe Brown on the show and he didn't get back to him, fast enough. Now, that episode with Judge Joe Brown had over 1 million views. I mean, that was huge. Anyone who hasn't seen it, I definitely, recommend that, go take a look. it was a heck of it was mega. But yeah, absolutely fire.
Yeah, so what you think, man? He went after him like a girl for 4 hours. He was just roasting Kwame. He actually he put up his text messages because they were trying to communicate behind the scenes, and he put him on blast. And then Kwame came back, and he basically the first time he came in and said, I respect the guy. I don't know why they came at me like that, but then today he went in on him, like calling him acting like a girl, and in my opinion, I believe Tommy, like I said, I'm canceling him. He acts like a chick. He coming after people for clout, and Kwame doing big things, and you trying to come after him. Like he's putting his platform out where he's not flagging people, and people's getting paid off of him. And he trying to get back to the community. He's putting people on, like organizers on there, letting them know what they're doing in the community. Like that's how he's using his platform. And he went from 2,000 subscribers to 300,000. So he's, like you said, he's using it. Then, like I said, Tommy came in acting like a chick and going on social media telling their business. So
that's a straight that's the word. It starts with a B. That's a B move right there. And he's clout chasing. That's all that is. He see that Kwame is getting all the shine right now, and he want to throw his little digs out there to try to get him some shine. That's weak. That's weak right there. You don't do that.
Yeah, I don't respect it, man. His platform, I don't know if you're familiar with Tommy, but he's like a Kevin Samuels sort of, but he disrespects women really bad. Like he calls them out the name. Yeah, and so I mean, but people follow him. I don't mess with him like that, but yeah, that's what's going on right now. Yeah, well, we appreciate you, man, Swanee, for blessing us with your time, man.
Always, man.
You got anything to promote or anything?
Nah, man. I just want to promote us. Always coming together and having a conversation. I want to promote togetherness. I want to promote love. I want to promote trust, loyalty within ourselves, amongst ourselves, so we can build the nation back up that we came from. And we need to always stay connected with one another. And I'm always here, man. I'm always willing to do whatever it takes, to do what's right. You know what I mean? For the people and for our families and our old generation folks. I still love them. It don't matter. Our young generation, I love them. It don't matter. But we must continue to throw out them, some education to them, whether they listen to it right now or not. We need to continue to educate and, stand on what we believe. And so it can be passed down to the next person and encourage the next person.
Dope. Right. Yeah, man. We appreciate you, man. We definitely appreciate you supporting the show, man. And if you ever have to come in here and tell us what's going on in the community, if you want to promote anything, definitely hit us up.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Always love.
All right. Yeah, man. Yeah, Swanee dope, man. You're a dope guy, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Now, what have you heard what Joe was talking about with the anti-war effort?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
So I wish I would have brought it up, but one of the things he was talking about is that they were trying to reverse or destroy masculinity because they thought that's what you figure boys grow up and they play with toys and they play with guns and things like that, and they're going to want to go to war. So to try to stop the different wars like the Vietnam War, which was going on back then, they figured if they would just get the boys to lighten up, then they can actually keep more of them from going into war. What you think about that?
Man, I mean, like I said, I don't know nothing about that. I just know we have to. It starts in the home, man. We have to really step up our game, build our village, and we really need to figure out who we're going to vote for, because we do have to vote. It has to start in the community at first, But we got to get back to some type of rule, and forget about these politicians, man, because that's ridiculous, Yeah, I mean, I didn't support Biden at all. Everybody knows who's watching. I didn't support him, so but he is our president, so I'm not going to disrespect him like that. But
yeah, absolutely. I respect the office of the president, and we'll address him as such. For those who pray, I definitely recommend to pray for the president. But right now, I don't like what's really going on.
Yeah, man, we man has been dropping the ball, man. We've been dropping the ball for a while now. But like I said, I like the movement that's happening right now. Sometimes it takes a president to show the true colors for us to stand up, man. I think a lot of people are starting to stand up and wake up, and then they gave us the people some money to. You have the PPP loan scandals and all that, so people are kind of chilling right now. But I think we're going to get back into what we need to do, and it's family first,
Right, and I think about whenever I was younger, I remember in school, whenever it was time to read, usually the boys would never volunteer. The teacher would say, "Who wants to read?" Boys are usually quiet. There might be someone who does it, but a lot of times the girls they did, and I have no problem with that. But these little boys who grow up to be into men, then they end up growing up not speaking out. So men, I'm talking to you. Your voice matters. We have to lead our homes. You have to be able to set an example for the community. And if there's anything that you need or anything that you're feel that you're lacking, there's always someone to talk to. There's always a helpline. You can actually email us on the show, and we can actually connect you with some resources for help.
That's right. Yeah, so before we go, man, you got any last comments you want to share?
Yeah, absolutely. And that email is realtnj@gmail.com. And I just wanted to say this was an awesome conversation, because think about how often we get to talk about masculinity or men leading their homes. It's kind of like it's a taboo topic nowadays, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So definitely, man. If you're still on there on YouTube, hit that subscribe, hit that like button, hit that notification. We definitely going to get some real hot speakers coming up to our show. Ain't that right?
Absolutely. And also, anyone who works at, since obviously Black entrepreneurs don't have, lawyers or accountants, which, that boggles me. But anyway, if anyone is, works in the area of law, we would like to, definitely hear from you. If you're an accountant, we want to hear from you, because the community, the world, actually, they all have questions. This isn't really just a Black or white thing, or Chinese or any type of Asian. This is a everybody thing. Most small business owners don't know what they're doing, and they don't seek help. So email us if you have that type of expertise, or if you know someone that does.
Facts. So with that, let's see y'all next week, man. And we're going to have a hot topic next week.
All right. See you guys next week.